There's not really anything to update on the press brake today, um, but I'll share a couple of things that I did. So I have been needing a press up here anyway, so I went and bought me a shot press. It's Harbor Freight. Me and Dad have one at his house, and it works good. The crossbar on the bottom is bent, so it doesn't sit flat, but I'm gonna fix it and get it where it works. But anyway, so with the press, I was able to press the shaft all the way through and press the bearing back up in there, in that bearing housing. I mean, that's pretty much all the new news that I have on this thing today. I explained pretty much everything yesterday that I was planning for it, as far as mounting the shaft and whatnot, but the big deal is that is out. The shaft is out of that old pressure plate, or whatever you want to call it. Clutch still shows that it's going to be delivered Saturday, unfortunately. Not anything I can really do about that, but still shows it's going to be delivered on Saturday, so hopefully it won't. But I did bring out the tonnage chart for the brake press. So this is the tonnage chart for air bending. Essentially, air bending is where the die, so forming, like mechanical forming, is where the die and the punch make the actual shape. It makes full contact with it. Air bending is where it only makes contact in 3 points. It will contact the two sides of the bottom die and then the center of the punch. So reading this chart, here's how you read it. So this tells you how thick your material is on this side, and this is just the inch conversion, or the inches. This tells you the V opening. The V opening is, like it notes here, the width of the mouth. F is the leg right here. That's what this F dimension is. And then you have the radius, which is the radius of the punch, which will make the radius of the bend. So essentially what you do is you go through here. This F value right here is the force that it takes per foot, per linear foot of workpiece. So say you want to bend 20 gauge, and you have a 1/4 inch V, or let's just say you have a 1/2 inch V. That's a common size, and you have just a standard 5/64 radius. To bend 20 gauge, it takes 1.2 tons per linear foot, meaning that on a 35-ton machine you can do just pretty much 35 feet. To be more realistic, because this bed is not even that wide, to be more realistic, let's look at 10 gauge. If we take 10 gauge and I need to bend a piece that's 4 foot long, if we take 35, divide it by 4, you have not quite not quite 9 pounds per foot available. So that means that if we need to bend 4 feet, we're going to need to be in this range right here. We're going to need to be above a 1 inch V right here. So that means that with a 35-ton machine, if I need to bend 4 feet, I cannot do a 1 inch V, because it's over what my machine is rated for. If you take 9.9 and multiply it by 4, then you're going to get well, basically 10. You're going to get pretty much 40 tons required, and this is a 35-ton machine. So we're going to have to be 1.25 inches and above. And so basically you look through here, you find what thickness of material you want to do, and you have to know what your machine is rated for, and you cross-reference over here and you find a spot where the V will match what your machine is capable of doing. Like I said, I need to bend 10 gauge 4 foot long, then I need at least 1.25 inch V, probably looking at 1.5 inch V right there. So that tells you how to read the chart, and that should tell you how much force it takes. I'm really excited to get this thing running. I can't tell you how excited I am, because there's all kinds of stuff that I've been looking at that I can break and bend and sell. And with combination of the plasma table, being able to cut out my parts and then being able to bring them over here and bend them is going to be just incredible. And I really am anxious to get it going so I can start making money with it. So that's today's update. Short compared to the other ones, but there's not really much to update you on. And probably the only thing that I have that I could do right now, this motor is 3-phase. Looking at the chart right here, you can wire it for low voltage for 230, because it runs on 208 to 230 480. So to wire it for low voltage, which would be 208, to wire it for low voltage, then you, from what I gather from this, you tie lines 6, 3, and 4 together, and then lines 3 and 9 get a hot lead, 2 and 8 get a hot lead, and 1 and 7 get a hot lead, and they're all numbered. I don't exactly know what that machine was running before. Here's the power, here's the lead that was coming from it originally. That was actually connected to this, which was run from the switch. This was coming from the wall going to the switch. And there are 3 wires there. Yeah, no, 4 wires. I'm blind. There's 4 wires: green, black, white, and red, which indicates 480. So what I'm probably going to do is open up the cover on this motor and check the wiring, and I'm going to look and see if I can get an indication of what kind of power it was running before. Like I said in one of the other videos, I'm pretty sure the forward reverse switch is still good. Hopefully it is, so I don't have to replace that. And like I've said in the other videos, safety is a big key with this machine, and so the forward reverse switch is pretty essential, because if you were operating this machine, and say I put this in forward and I step on the pedal and this guillotine's coming down and I get to a spot where it's going to be dangerous for me to continue, so I let off the pedal and it stops, the only option is to hit the pedal and have it continue the cycle, unless I go up here and I reverse the direction of the motor and then I hit the pedal and it'll reverse the cycle. Which the forward reverse, it doesn't really matter which direction, which direction you call forward and which direction you call reverse, because it's a circle. It's like following somebody around a donut track on a go-kart and saying that you're in the lead when you're spaced evenly out. There's no way to know who's actually leading if you're just driving. It's a circle. So the forward reverse switch is going to be a big deal for me, for sure. There's a lot of safety factors that go into play with this thing. You do not want to, which that cog goes over here, you don't want to get your hand anywhere near here. You don't want to get your hand anywhere in here. You don't want to get your hand up in these areas right here. You don't want to get your hand in the belt from the motor. I mean, there's safety issues, or safety concerns, I'll say concerns, hazards all around this piece of equipment that need to be taken very seriously. Precautions that must be followed to ensure that nobody loses an arm or any type of appendage. So anyway, that's where we're at so far, and we're gonna see what happens over the weekend, see if parts come in. I'm anxious to start throwing this thing together. Once I get the clutch and I figure out how it's all going to go together, then I'm probably going to buff it down and paint it, or at the very least wash it, and maybe put a coat of primer on it. But at the very least, it needs to be washed down very well, and not quite so much grease put on it next time. So anyway, that's today's update, and like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next update.